The time has finally come for me to do a full tutorial on how I do my go-to drag face. Today I'm going to show you from start to finish what it takes for me to get into full drag. Today I'm going to be covering how I do my prep for my skin, how I prime it all, how I get the foundation, the contour, the highlight down. Then I'm going to talk about eyebrows, my go-to drag eye look, and then what I use for my lips and the finishing touches. Wigs, jewelry, outfits, the whole shebang. I'm going to cover it all today. Okay, to prime my skin, I normally shave with a blade razor so that I get a really close cut towards the bottom of the hairs on my face to make sure that everything is smooth and the application of the makeup is very easy and I can just glide it straight on, because I don't want to have to be working against hair poking up here, there and everywhere. And normally men's hair is really sharp because we've been going at it with razors for years and years, but you know, I just don't want anything there, so I just shave it all off straight away. I then put on a foaming face wash. Then I go in with a facial scrub, making sure that everything is right in there and it's pulling all the oils and horrible stuff out of my skin, because I'm gonna put a load of industrial paint on my face. Stage makeup is very much that. That's what I like to use, because stage makeup is very full coverage and I know that it will wear really well throughout the day, even if I do start sweating, which inevitably I'm going to be doing, because I'm either going to be in an event where lots of people are around, or I'm going to be in a place where I'm running around from place to place making sure that I'm there on time, which, as my friends would tell you, seldom happens, but that's beside the point. So once I've done that, then I go on top with a lovely bit of moisturizer. Normally I use a Clinique one. The Clinique one I use is the Clinique Smart Custom Repair Serum. That is just, it's stunning. I put it on the skin, it makes everything soft, smooth. I just like the way it feels, and it really makes sure that my makeup goes on really easily. Most of the time the Clinique stuff really gets into my pores and then we'll get rid of blemishes, but this right here has been here for coming on 3 days now, and I tried my hardest to get rid of her, but she just wants to stay. Not much I can do, but I'm going to cover it in so much heavy makeup that it doesn't really matter for today's video. Once I've done all of that, then I am going to cover my brows, because these brows are too big and too low for me to be using for the drag looks that I like to do. So I'm going to put on a wig cap, change my top and go cover my brows, and then I'll be right back. I've covered my brows. The link for the tutorial, let me just take that off, is going to be in the description bar below. It's just a quick, simple 3 to 5 minute job that I do, but most people have been asking me how to do it and have been looking for visual guidance on it, so I've just made a separate video which you can find down below. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. If you're wondering what brushes I'm going to be using throughout the tutorial today, I'm going to do a separate video detailing all the brushes that I use, what I use them for and why I like to use them for that. Of course, brushes are universal, so you don't have to use them for what I'm using them for, but it's just what I found out works best for my face and my routine. So anyway, I'm going to take this large fluffy brush and I'm going to get rid of the setting powder, well, the majority of it, that I put on these brows. I know I look terrifying, I look like a little werewolf. A little carry-on screaming, if you will. Now that I've covered the brows, I'm going to take a little bit of the L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Primer. I love this primer because it is silicone based, so it's going to fill everything in. And it's just going to give me a nice smooth surface for my paint sticks to run onto. I'm going to make sure I'm avoiding the brows, but I'm going to put it in between on my forehead and the rest of my face so that it gives it time to really sink in and meld with the skin. Okay, now that I've primed my face, I'm next going to go in with my Kryolan TV paint stick in the shade F7. So I'm just going to swipe this over the forehead. Stunning. And then when applying it to your brows, make sure you go up or whichever direction that you put the hair in, because you don't want to pull it down and then the whole eyebrow just... No, that's a mess. We don't want to do that. So we're just going to push it up, and hopefully with the layers of glue that you've done and the good old setting powder, everything just gets filled in like that. Now you might see little bits in the brow, like here, where the product isn't really settling into the brow. That doesn't matter at this point, because you're going to take your blending tool and you're really going to push the product around it. So today I'm going to be using a stippling brush, and I'm just going to bounce it all over the face, really getting right in those brows. I am not going to be swishing it across the face like because that is just going to create streakiness in my makeup, and that's not what we're going for. We're going for a nice seamless finish, something smooth and something wonderful. This is what Voldemort has been wanting to look like for several years now, but he just couldn't. He didn't have the time to do anything so beautiful. Unfortunately, I was not blessed with beautiful feminine features, so I have to work with what I've got and really just change the shapes and the look of my face through intense full coverage makeup. Now that I've blended that out, I am going to go in with a lovely contour shade, because this forehead is rather big and we don't want to be walking around with something like this. It's going to look huge now because I've cut out my brows, so normally I would, but no. So I'm going to be using today the L'Oreal Infallible sculpting stick. Comes in a little wand type thing like this. Then I'm going to go from my temple here, and I'm going to go all the way over there to my other temple. I'm going to create that beautiful beige rainbow, and then just contour the extremities of my face. Actually, I'm going to bring it in a bit and cover a little bit of that eyebrow, because I want a small forehead. Oh, it looks shocking now, guys, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be wonderful. So I'm taking a different brush now than the one that I used for my face, and I'm just going to blend it all out. Look at that. That did a really quick job. It doesn't matter if you're bringing the contour too far down at this point in time, because we can always... Oh, hello, just random friggin' brush hair. Excuse you. This is not a tutorial featuring brush hairs, thank you. Now this is looking lovely. It's looking nicely blended. Again, not swiping, because that's just going to move the product and that's not what you want. So next I'm going to do a little bit of highlight. I'm going to go into another Kryolan TV paint stick in the shade 1W. This was the first paint stick that I ever got, because I am a very, very pale person, And I used to use this as a foundation shade, but using this as a foundation shade really gave me nothing else that was lighter to work with, because this was one shade off of white, and not good at all. I'm going to take the stippling brush again, and I'm just going to pounce this over the face. And we are not trying to be a man right now. Okay, now that we blended that out, I am going to go in with drawing the first part of my brows. Because I'm going to be using a little brow pomade, I don't want to set my face with powder and do everything like that and then draw them on, because drawing with a pomade on powder is just going to separate the powder from your face, and it's going to go downhill from there, and we really don't want that. So I'm going to take the pomade. Sometimes if your pomade gets a little bit dry, I like to take a little bit of contact solution. I'm going to take this little angled brush. I'm going to dip it in the pomade that I've made with the contact solution. I'm going to pinch the brush, pull it up. I'm going to grab my mirror, because brows are notoriously hard to draw. I'm gonna really look down into the camera. You watching are gonna get such a beautiful view of my face. I'm so jealous. I'm gonna make sure that my face is tilted down so that I can make a lovely angle, because the worst thing is doing this. Great angle again. Doing this and then drawing your brow, and then you go like this. The brow is up here. Not the look I'm going for. So I'm gonna start where my brow normally starts, so here. And I'm sorry if I go out of frame. I'm gonna take this up over my natural brow and then bring it down a bit. We are then going to take from the top of my brow and we're going to drag it. This is a very watery consistency. I'm kind of scared. So if you're worried now, I don't know how you're going to get through the video, to be honest. Oh, you see that brow? That brow's very pretty. I like her. This brow pomade that I'm using is the Tame and Frame by NYX Cosmetics. I'm using the shade Chocolate today. So now that I've got the base for the top of my head done, I'm going to go into the MUA Ultra Fine Loose Powder. So I'm going to use this big fluffy brush. I'm going to dip it into the powder and I'm going to gently pat it onto the face. I'm now going to go in and start my eyes. So with my eyes, I love to use a paint pot. I'm going to use a small kind of tapered concealer brush and I'm going to dip into this product. You really want your eyeshadows to stick to your eyelids because you don't know what's going to be happening during the night. Take that how you will. I am going to take one of my favourite palettes at the moment. I'm just trying to get the dirt off the front so I don't look like such a filthy person. So this is the Soph X Revolution Extra Spice palette. The shades in this, stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm going to grab this one, a little kind of packing, buffing, I'd say this is a smudging brush. And first of all, I am going to go into the shade Running Late, which is this one here. And I am just going to pat on where I want the product to sit. And I'm gonna put this bit of product here really close to this eyebrow part so that it looks natural. Because I've noticed throughout my time doing drag looks, which has been a while, we don't want to go back to the first ones, you can find them on the internet somewhere, that when I put the product quite far away from the bottom of my brow, it just made my face and we don't want that. That's what we want. So now that I've put that initial orange down, I am going to be grabbing a blending brush. I am going to go into the shade Vitamin C. I'm gonna go into the color here, tap off my excess, and I'm really just gonna buff the yellow out over the orange and really give it this blown out look. And there you go, look. So I'm gonna put the product in between the orange and the brow, blending them together. They are starting to look seamless. Do you see that? That looks lovely to me. So now that that's done, it's a lovely blended orange to yellow. That's what I'm going for. I'm gonna go into the palette again, and I am going to take the shade 21, which is this lovely pink here. I'm gonna pat on in, tap off the excess, and now I'm going to go in where the orange is on the lid, and I'm gonna blend that down. So now we've got that lovely yellow to orange to pink, which is just stunning. Then I am going to grab a packing brush for eyeshadow. So now I'm going to go into a lovely shimmer that's going to go all over the lid and marry the pink with the rest of the look. I am going to be taking a setting spray. I have two that I use. For the face, MAC Prep and Prime, Fix Plus, go-to. I love it in the lavender though, because I just love the smell of lavender. Or you can use any of the Revolution Fix Plus alternatives. This one is the Hyaluronic Fix. I'm just gonna spritz my brush, and then I'm going to go into this shade Infinity, which is this lovely shade here. And then I am just going to drag from the inner corner to the outer corner. Hello, look at that shade. Okay, so now that I've got that on the eye, which looks stunning, I'm going to go back in with the blending brush and I'm going to take 21 again, that lovely pink, and I'm just going to gently dust it over the edge of that colour. I think that's really beautiful actually. That's really stunning. If you see that the colours aren't popping enough for you, you can just go back. Take the same blending brush. The product is just going to sit on the top anyway. So I'm going to go back into Vitamin C. And now that I've pushed those two, I can then go back into Running Late. And I'm just going to marry the two again. Lovely, look at that. That looks really stunning. So I'm now going to do the other eye off camera, and then I'll be right back with both of them done and we can move on. Lovely, so now I've finished off the other side, we can now move on to lining the eye, and then I can do a little bit of highlight under the brow to maybe clean up what we've got going on. So I'm going to take the Revolution Awesome Double Flick Liquid Liner. I have used this one for years because it's got a really small tip on one side and then a thicker tip on the other. I'm probably going to upgrade to one of their other felt tip liners, but for the time being this has served me really well. So I'm going to take the thin side and I'm going to go from my inner corner, create a little wing probably up to where this orange stops, and then we're just going to come back. Alright? Okay, that's one flick done. It's just a really simple cat eye. I used to have the worst time doing eyeliner. It was like the bane of my life, but with practice it gets better. Okay, there you go. That is my winged liner. It's just very simple, very kind of Oh yeah, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm really liking what it looks like right now. So now that I've done all of this, I'm going to put on some mascara. The one that I've been using forever is the Maybelline Great Lash, the iconic pink and green compact that everybody's nan in Britain used. Everyone's nan. Now I've done it before where I've got big black dots of mascara on my face. Best way to hide it, just turn it into a beauty spot. Everybody loves a good beauty spot. I've got a couple of black marks here, and as you can see they've just run down my face. I'm just going to do the bottom of my face anyway with foundation, so they thought they had one up on me. No girl. So I'm going to go in with F7, the neutral one that we use for our forehead. Stunning. It just glides on, it really does, and you really don't want to add more work when you're putting makeup on. You just want to be able to put it on and move on. So that spot is still poking through, but we're just gonna pretend that it doesn't exist and just swipe the foundation all over the face. So I'm going to now take the contour shade that we used and I'm going to swipe from my little old sideburn down to about here, because if we go any further then it starts looking a bit beardy. And this product is going to move anyway because you're going to be using a stippling brush. So don't worry about it. I also like to cut off a bit of my jawline just to make it more seamless, more round. Which one should I use? The other stippling brush. So now that we've got that blend, I'm going to take the 1W and I'm going to pop it under my eye, on the top of my lip, up the center of my nose. We've already done the forehead. Ooh, nearly added more. And a little bit on the chin. And then I'm gonna also pull this down here. Lovely. What a sight. So again, I use a lot of the same brushes, so I always keep brush cleaner around with me. Because if I'm putting this good old foundation on and I'm blending it in, and then I see that I picked up the contour brush that I've used, game over. That's lovely and blended. Don't be afraid to take this highlight shade up onto your nose as well, because I don't really like contouring my nose because I'm not that confident at it and I know I'm going to mess it up. And I don't want that. I really don't want to mess up something that's so central to my face and can change everything about it. Do not want to mess that up. Stunning. Now I'm not going to use this big old blending brush to be doing this lovely thing right here. I'm going to take this really small blending brush that I would use for the eyes, and I'm just going to lightly go onto the nose. That's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so now that we've done all of this base, I am going to take the setting powder that we've been using all the time, all over, while holding my breath. Lovely. I'm going to move those to the side. Now, we have put all that powder on, so everything is nice and smooth. I am going to take one of my good old palettes that I've made, and I like to use the L'Oreal Infallible because I love that range. Lovely little face powder in the shade Warm Vanilla. I'm going to take it on this brush here, which is a kind of rounded tip. I'm going to pop it in the product, tap off the excess, we don't want too much, and I'm going to really just punch it under the eyes. Ooh, do you see that difference? I do. I do. Down the nose. on the top lip, a little dash on the chin, and a little bit in the center of the forehead. Now I'm going to take, I'm probably going to take a fan brush for this, to be honest. It's like a cute little fan brush. Normally this is said to be used for highlighting, not for me. I'm going to run it in my top 3 shades that I've got here for contouring. Just all the way over, so I've got a nice amount on that brush there. Tap off the excess, and I'm just going to really buff it in to the contour that I've got going on here. And bring it up. Don't be afraid to bring it up. Ooh, do you see that difference? That pop, consider. Ooh. That's what we're after. That's really, on camera that looks really harsh. In person, it looks good. We're gonna go into the forehead as well. We're really gonna block out that beautiful manly hairline. And a little bit in the jaw. Anyway, the next step that I'm going to do now that I've done all the contouring is I'm going to take a lovely dome brush, a different one this time, not the one I use for the highlight, and I'm going to take a lovely MAC blusher. This is in the shade Peony Petal. I like to kind of dose up that brush, really saturate it, tap off that excess, and then as it's a lovely pinky blush, just put it on. Oh, that's a lot, but when we marry that to the contour, it looks stunning. You might be looking at me like, that's a lot of blush, but that's my drag makeup. I also like to pop it on the end of my nose. Don't know why, just always have. And then we'll just marry it down to anywhere that we put the contour. Now, you're probably asking, Dana, when are you gonna fix those brows? I got ya. I'm going to take the same angle brush that I used to sketch them on with the pomade, and I am going to take this Makeup Revolution palette, as you can see, battered to all hell. These are the shades. Which one do you think I do my brows in? Doesn't that look so much better now? You see, but the thing is, why I put the pomade on first is because if I'm going to sweat through the night, this eyebrow could well pack her bags and go. I have had moments in my time doing drag where I've been at gala parties, expensive nights, girl. I've been at parties, these eyebrows, gone. Packed their bags and disappeared. They left me sitting there wondering, where have my eyebrows gone? I have then gone up to people I admire and have admired since childhood. Asked them for a photo, got photos with them, seen the photos later on, it was a mess. It was a mess. And you need brows. When you've drawn them on, you've said hello to everyone and you've got brows, and then you see them 20 minutes later when you've got a champagne, you've sweated a little bit by talking to people and walking around in these big old gowns with these corsets on, these bras on, these wigs on, you've sweated it all off, you come back and they're like, who's she? Time out. Okay, so now that I've drawn my brows on, you can see that this one is a bit bigger than this one. This is where I go in with a little bit of foundation. I'm going to go in with the 1W. I'm going to grab this brush here, and I'm going to cut a little bit of that brow out. Sometimes I also like to bring this highlight a little bit down here and just kind of frame the end of the eye look. Oh, it looks stunning. I'm really proud of myself. And for the final part of the eyes, this buffing brush that we use right at the beginning, we are going to go into Running Late, that lovely orange, and we're going to smoke it under this bottom lash. And we are going to grab a really big fluffy brush now. We're going to grab my contouring palette. I have my contouring and highlighting palette for the glitters. We're not going to grab a glitter today because we've got all of this shiny, beautiful silver already on there. But I'm going to go into these 3 shades here. These are the Sleek Makeup Summer Solstice palette. And I love the yellow and the peachy tones for something like this because it's quite warm. And I'm just gonna pop it on the cheek. Yeah. On the tip of the nose, up the bridge of the nose. Lovely. And we also want to grab a little bit on the top lip. Pop it right in that Cupid's bow. Ooh. And then I like to do a little bit above the brow. Because I'm crazy. I'm really crazy. And just a touch on the chin, because why not? Okay, that's done. That's done. And it's looking stunning. Lips. A all-time favourite of mine. The MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lipsticks. This one is the shade It Feels So Grand. And believe me, it does. I love the applicator on this. The applicator is just stunning. We're just going to swipe this on. And with these lipsticks, I really feel like I don't need a lip liner because they dry down so matte. So I'll be right back. There is no particular way that I draw my lips. I just make sure that they kind of look a little bit overdrawn and just lovely. Now we are going to go in with lashes. I use a little pair of kind of tweezers, little lash ones made specifically for applying lashes. Pop them in. I'm going to be using the Duo glue. I'm going to be using the stick version though, because when I was using the tube version of Duo, I would put so much of it on my hand and then run the lash through, and then I wouldn't use it all. It was not a very good use of materials at all. So I'm going to get my extra close mirror up. I'm going to blow on the lash. Gonna blow on the lash. Wait about 10 seconds maybe for it to get tacky. And now I'm going to pop the lash on, and I'm just gonna push it into place. I have trimmed these lashes down a little bit because I don't like them sticking into the inside part of my eye. That is a surefire way to get me crying. After we've made all this effort to put all this beautiful makeup on, I don't want to cry it off. What a waste of time. So I'm just gonna swipe the glue along the lash band on the second one. Can you see that like blue little strip? Okay. And then I like to pinch the lashes together, making sure that it is stuck down to the eye lid, not the eye. Don't go sticking lashes to your eye. That's a surefire way to get yourself in some pain and see some tears. Right, so I think the face is now done. I'm going to move this mirror out of the way, and I'm going to grab some setting spray. The setting spray I'm going to use today is the MAC Fix Plus. I've got the lavender one because I just love how it smells. Okay, so now we're going to apply our wig. We've already got the cap on, so we don't need to do anything there. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I glue down my wigs today. So I'm just going to pop her on. Lovely. Okay, so when I'm gluing down a wig, I like to take spirit gum. Spirit gum is a stage adhesive and it is crazy strong. Once you glue this wig down, it ain't going anywhere. I also like to take the end of a brush, so we're gonna pop this hair back here for the time being. This is what happens when you have really big ears, and they come in really helpful because you can hold back all of the hair. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that all the hair is out of the way, all the little blonde flyaways, and we are going to grab the spirit gum. We're going to take the excess off around the corners, and we are going to pop it down like this on the sides. This is exactly like lash glue. We have to wait for it to get tacky, so we're just going to wait a little bit longer. The only thing with spirit gum is that it can take off some of your makeup, but it's going to be covered by hair, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, then we are going to get the hair and we're going to drag her down and pop her where we want it stuck. And we're just going to hold it there for a little bit, just to make sure that everything is grab hold of. And now I want to use the end of the brush and hold it with that. Because sometimes when you're sticking it down with your finger can get stuck to the side, and then you're there like, and then you have to rip it off, and It's just a mess. You don't want to be doing that. Okay, she seems pretty firm right now. I'm just going to grab a tad more and just pop it under this little bit of lace here. Okay, cool. That's that one done. So now that that's done, we can just bring the hair back around and forget about it. Lovely. And now we'll go to this side and we'll just repeat exactly what we did. That's lovely right there. That's a lovely melt to the skin. There you go. And that's how I glue down my wigs. I'm just gonna pop in a little earring. Normally with my bars in my ears, I can get away with literally just putting the earring straight through, popping the back on. And as you can see, because it's so big, it just hides everything. Right, I'm gonna go grab a quick outfit, change into that, and then we'll come back for the final outro. Okay, so this is the final look. I've just slipped into a little bit of fur, a little purple glitter. Ooh, it's just really kind of, you know, and I've got so used to doing looks like this that I can just do them really quickly, and it's a really good go-to for me. And that's this look done. Okay guys, if you have any questions about what I did during this tutorial, please leave them in the comments down below. Give this video a good old thumbs up. Let me know that you're loving the content, the start of a really long journey, hopefully. And be sure to subscribe because you won't want to miss out on the content that I'm going to be sending out. It's going to be good. I've got so many plans in the works and I'm really quite excited. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.